you'd have told me Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shadur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You expect me to believe, based on that comment from Jimmy Haslem, that the Cleveland Browns are intentionally sabotaging Shedeur Sanders? You expect me to believe the Cleveland Browns are intentionally setting Shedeur Sanders up for failure? You expect me to believe Kevin Stefanski is risking his job, his career? A 43-year-old man with a wife and 3 children. He is risking his entire career just to see Shedeur Sanders fail? Someone please make that make sense. But according to ESPN, it makes perfect sense. Headline at Anscape, which is where the worldwide leader in woke assigns journalists who are mainly focused on the myth of mythical racism. Headline at Anscape, Shedeur Sanders has a Cleveland Browns problem. This rancid turd, it was written by someone named Justin Tinsley. According to his bio on ESPN's website dedicated to mythical racism, Justin believes that Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 and the 2000 is the most impactful statement of our generation. Actually, I don't have a problem with that. That prediction from the great philosopher Juvenile, it happened to come true. Right before Juvenile requested that the ladies put their caboose in reverse, he predicted that Cash Money Records would be taking over the music industry. And he was right. Unfortunately, that's where the similarities between Uncle KC and Justin Tinsley end. According to Bleacher Report, Justin Tinsley is an NFL insider. Does this look like an NFL insider to you? Does this look like someone who is trusted with inside information to the National Football League? If you told me Justin Tinsley was the senior insider at the local library, I'd believe it. If you told me to ask his recommendation on the best Ernie Hemingway novel, I'd seek his advice. But NFL insider? Uncle KC is having a hard time biting into that shit sandwich. According to Justin Tinsley, who represents ESPN, Shedeur Sanders has a Cleveland Browns problem. Now, in his defense, the Browns aren't exactly known for developing quarterbacks. Cleveland is the NFL equivalent to the WNBA. It's the place where careers go to die. Listen to some of these legends who have started in Cleveland in just the last few years. Kevin Hogan, I am a real American. Cody Kessler, Thaddeus Lewis, Dorian Robinson, Bailey Zapper. That is not the employee roster at Home Depot. These legends actually started an NFL game. So claiming Shedeur Sanders has a Cleveland Browns problem, that's not exactly a false narrative, but it's the reason. It's the insinuation as to why Shedeur Sanders has a problem. According to ESPN, there are people within the Browns organization who are quietly hoping for his downfall. Translation: the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders with the intention of setting him up to fail. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Are you struggling with back problems? Do you deal with minor aches, minor pains throughout your day, and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor's going to do is find something else wrong with you? Even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you don't want to take. I hate going to the doctor. So does my wife, who actually deals with back pain. That's why she has started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. Now, this is not THC, not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are specifically designed for rapid pain relief. Like I said, my wife deals with nagging back pain from time to time. Tried over-the-counter stuff, the chiropractor, but none of that ever seemed to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain was gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. Bar soap comes in a variety of scents ranging from lavender all the way to cherry almond. More importantly, all CBD products offered by Sugar Mountain Trading 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. According to ESPN, Browns owner Jimmy Haslem, he never wanted Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. He said it was up to the general manager. That means he didn't make this decision himself. This is outrageous. Shedeur Sanders is being set up to fail. Let me get this straight. You're telling me that Jimmy Haslem offered a 4-year contract to Shedeur Sanders because he didn't want him in Cleveland? You're telling me that Jimmy Haslem's paying him over $4 million because he wants him to fail? Can I sign up for that contract? I'm not used to failure, but I'll gladly be a failure for $4 million. Hell, if you give me $5 million, I'll be a huge embarrassing failure. I'll even nominate myself for the 3rd annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards, which will be taking place later in December. Listen to the active quarterbacks on the Browns roster. Joe Flacco, barf. Deshaun Watson, double barf. Ken Pickett, triple barf. Dylan Gabriel, unknown barf. Now, I have not been keeping up with training camp in Cleveland for obvious reasons. I mean, who gives a shit about the Browns? But from the outside looking in, Shedeur Sanders could be the starter week 1, which means, according to ESPN, the Browns want their potential week 1 starter to fail. Going into the season, they want to lose intentionally. Does that make sense to you? When I saw this headline from ESPN, obviously, I was automatically skeptical. I am always skeptical of anything that I see in the mainstream media. So I wanted to look for local sources in Cleveland. I wanted to know what the locals in Cleveland were saying about the Browns hoping Shedeur Sanders would fail. National media, they're okay with major stories, trades, free agent signings, holdouts, things of that nature. But when it comes to really knowing the team, when it comes to being a real expert on the team, local media tends to be a lot better. Earlier this week, 2 dudes on 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland, who I would assume cover the Browns every single day, they disputed this false narrative from ESPN that the franchise is secretly hoping Shedeur Sanders is going to fail. Watch for yourself.
They are doing nothing to try to break a quarterback. They're doing nothing to try to break Shedeur Sanders, especially Shedeur Sanders. For anybody out there who is not a real Browns fan, who might be listening to this, I am telling you right now, shaking as hard as I can, they are not doing anything to try to sabotage or try to break Shedeur Sanders or to not be fair to Shedeur Sanders.
I have no idea who in the hell that dude is, but I believe him. I damn sure believe him over Captain Doofus at ESPN. Why would the Browns want the biggest star on their team to fail? Why would they want a kid who can sell tickets to lose. The Browns have been losing for 40 years. They don't have to set up Shedeur Sanders for failure. They're already experts at failing unintentionally. If they want Shedeur Sanders to fail, all they have to do is repeat the same process. I have no problem with Shedeur Sanders. Since the draft, I think he's handled everything well. I think falling to the 5th round was a humbling experience, as it should be. Instead of playing the role of the ultimate victim, Shedeur Sanders, he seems to be taking this like a man. But I have this feeling that the media, especially ESPN, I have a feeling that the mainstream media is going to force Shedeur Sanders on us. What I mean by that, they are going to try to force people into embracing him. ESPN is already trying to garner sympathy for Shedeur Sanders. This poor kid, his own team wants him to fail. It's so unfair. We have seen what happens when stars are forced instead of being allowed to grow organically. The WWE tried the same thing for years with Roman Reigns. They forced him on the audience. They did everything they could to get the audience to support him. Naturally, the audience rejected him. For years, the media has been trying to get Americans to embrace pretend basketball. This league is amazing! The WNBA is the best basketball in the world! When no one paid attention, they blamed mythical racism. They blamed mythical misogyny. They turned WNBA players into the ultimate victim. And naturally, people have rejected the WNBA dump. I don't want to see that happen to Shedeur Sanders. If he's not the starter week 1 and the Browns go with Joe Flacco or one of these other dudes who will be grilling wiener at the concession stand here in a few weeks, if the Browns start anyone not named Shedeur Sanders and they lose, the media is going to be relentless. They'll claim the Browns are holding him back. The Browns are punishing his father. They don't want to see him succeed. And it could turn people against him, especially if the media does what they do best and turn it into a racial thing, which wouldn't be hard to do since the other healthy quarterbacks are white. You know, it is entirely possible Jimmy Haslem did not want to draft Shedeur Sanders, maybe even likely, but that doesn't mean he wants him to fail. I didn't want the Saints to sign Derek Carr. I damn sure didn't want the Saints to give Donnie over $100 million. But when he was on the field in black and gold, I wanted Derek Carr to win. It makes no sense to me that Jimmy Haslem is paying Shedeur Sanders while secretly hoping that he loses. You make it make sense. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.